Raw mushrooms often find their way into salads, crudité platters, and trendy raw food recipes. But should they? While mushrooms are technically edible in their raw form, there's growing scientific consensus that cooking them isn't just better for flavor and texture, it's significantly better for your health. From neutralizing mild natural toxins to making essential nutrients more bioavailable, cooking mushrooms is more than a culinary choice. It's a nutritional upgrade. First, it's important to understand that mushrooms are not plants. They belong to an entirely separate biological kingdom, fungi, and their cellular structure reflects that. Instead of cellulose-rich plant cell walls, mushroom cell walls are made of chitin, a tough polysaccharide also found in insect exoskeletons. Human digestive enzymes struggle to break down chitin, which means that many of the beneficial compounds inside raw mushrooms, like antioxidants, minerals, and even some proteins, remain locked away unless heat softens the structure. Simply put, raw mushrooms pass through the body with many of their benefits untapped. Cooking mushrooms transforms this equation. One of the biggest advantages is the neutralization of potentially harmful compounds. Most common edible mushrooms, including white buttons, portobellos, and criminus, contain trace amounts of hydrazine derivatives, naturally occurring toxins that may pose health risks if consumed in large amounts over time. While the levels are generally low and not acutely dangerous, especially in small raw servings, these compounds are easily destroyed by heat. A quick sauté or steam is enough to eliminate these concerns entirely, turning mushrooms from questionable raw snack into a safe and powerful health food. But cooking doesn't just make mushrooms safer, it makes them more nutritious. Mushrooms are one of the few non-animal sources of ergothioneine, a rare antioxidant that helps protect DNA and cellular components from oxidative stress. Cooking doesn't destroy this compound. In fact, it can increase its availability by releasing it from the chitin matrix. The same goes for polyphenol and other antioxidants that may contribute to reduced inflammation and improved immune function. In one study, mushrooms cooked by grilling or microwaving actually retained more antioxidant activity than when they were eaten raw or even boiled. Far from losing their value, mushrooms become biochemically enhanced through proper cooking. Mineral absorption is another overlooked benefit. Mushrooms contain important nutrients like potassium, selenium, copper, and phosphorus, but many of these are more readily absorbed after cooking. Heat denatures certain binding compounds that inhibit mineral uptake, making mushrooms a more effective source of trace elements your body actually needs. For example, cooked portobello mushrooms are a solid plant-based source of potassium, which supports blood pressure regulation and cardiovascular health. Additionally, mushrooms can be a source of vitamin D, but only when exposed to sunlight or UV light. Some commercially grown mushrooms are treated with UV light to boost their D2 levels, and cooking doesn't significantly reduce this benefit. This makes cooked UV-exposed mushrooms a rare and valuable plant-based source of vitamin D, particularly for people who avoid dairy or animal products. Yet despite all this, the raw food movement has promoted the idea that cooking always destroys nutrients, an oversimplified and often misleading narrative. While it's true that some heat-sensitive compounds, like vitamin C or certain B vitamins, degrade at high temperatures, mushrooms are not a significant source of those nutrients to begin with. What they do offer, antioxidants, trace minerals, and detoxification potential, is not only preserved but enhanced by heat. The raw food myth doesn't hold up under scientific scrutiny, especially in the case of mushrooms. Even taste and digestion favor cooking. Mushrooms, when raw, often have a rubbery texture and bland, earthy flavor that can turn bitter or unpleasant in large quantities. Cooking mellows and deepens their flavor, improves digestibility, and integrates them better into balanced meals. The transformation is not just culinary, it's chemical. So, should you ever eat raw mushrooms? In small amounts, it's unlikely to be dangerous, especially with varieties like white button mushrooms. But it's not the ideal way to harness their health benefits. Cooking mushrooms, whether sautéed in olive oil, roasted in the oven, or added to soups, turns them into nutritional powerhouses. It neutralizes unwanted compounds, enhances antioxidant potency, and frees up minerals for absorption. If you're eating mushrooms for health, not just texture, then give them a little heat. Your taste buds and your body will be better off for it.